And at the time, this is when I started really, I was already going to Toronto a lot when I was a youngin, just on some like tourist shit. But I remember my first real years was in college a little bit, like playing hoop it up and
Okay,
shit
let me. Can
in
I ask
college.
a little question? So, if you're a young person from
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo touristing in Toronto, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yo, we really don't. We really, like the Raptor games was cool, and then like we really just to keep it G, dog. We would just what we would do was cruise around because the city to us was beautiful. I love Toronto. There's a reason why I got to see it. I love Toronto, dog. It introduced me to a perspective life as far as like finance. Because at the time too, I'm talking like the first time I really enjoyed the skyline was 2001. Yo, trust and believe how like literally like there were no that many condos back then. So you know you seen a beautiful skyline. You seeing businesses way better than Buffalo. So I was like, yo, and then I remember how I thought it was clean. So this is like when I was like 16. I was like, I'm going to Jamaica every year and I'm going to Toronto. So I got family there and we meet, but we basically just cruising around the city. We really didn't stop at too many tourist attractions. We didn't do the seeing all that shit. Went to the back the game, got something to eat, and then we just like go to the mall, like going to eat and just moving around. And then getting up on Dundas, walking down Dundas. Yo, my first time with the Bloor Street and really saw some real rich shit. That's when I was like, okay, yo, this is a different type of perspective of life, man. And then being not looked at so aggressively for being black. Where I'm from, like you can walk around being black. They got idea, oh, what kind of black guy are you? Are you a thug? Or are you this? Or you that? Where I'm in Toronto, it's like, what you mean? Anybody really care what color you are? You know what I mean? You walking by, like whatever. So we felt that. So when I fast forward to now I'm going from Rochester, I start going to Toronto now heavy again. And I remember my going to Caribana a few years back before then, but I remember 2008 Caribana was when I really fell in love with Toronto.
What is
That was
Caribana?
the So Caribana is the Caribbean festival that's always happens in Toronto, and it happens in the first week in August. It's a long tradition. I mean, you're talking like Carnival.
Okay.
I mean, it goes from like Thursday to Monday, like that civic holiday in Ontario. So we would cross all the time for Caribana. Caribana was big, and even states like people from Atlanta would go to Toronto. Like Shaquille, like these athletes and stars, some of these people would pop up to go to Caribana was big. So it gave life to Toronto. Like that's what it was. To me, it was the sexiest festival. You had hip hop artists like, what I mean, Rick Ross would do a fucking party during Caribana. You know what I mean? Like this is how big it was. And so I'd been there like when we played Hoop It Up in the basketball tournament. I'd been to this thing. That's when I remember like that was like 2000, I think, 3 when I met this girl named Tatiana and she was grabbing my ears and she was mixed with all types of shit. And I'm like, that was the first Toronto girl I ever met. And I was like, this is the best place ever. Right. So 2009, I'm sorry, 2008 into 9, I'm sorry, it was 2009 actually. We go to Caribana, it was me and my half brother. We meet my homies up there at the time. Cause this is like, I'm known in Toronto. I've been going up there a lot. I got the street fam up there. We in there Caribana from like Thursday to Monday. And I remember just having the time of my life, man. I remember for whatever reason, that vibe that weekend was like literally perfect. Like, I don't know if you ever had a time where every party and every cookout or outdoor party or every spot that you hit landed. Like, it wasn't no bunk shit. It wasn't no like horrible party. Everything from the backyard parties with the gazebo and the open bar grill and the people and a DJ and a buffet, and it was just like you knew people in there, so it was legit. To like the parties in Mansion where it was like a Hennessy party, but it was like Hennessy sponsored it, and it was like $45 a ticket, so it was a classy event, but it was like still good
Mm.
people in there, and it was just enough that like perfect room for you if you was in there like with your people, you had plenty of space, but still packed enough that it was still live in there. So it was like a perfect like setting. Like I came like then you go to the bar and get your drink immediately because there's nobody at the bar really like that. but everybody's just in a vibe. It was like a whole huge house party instead of a club night. Like it was, and there was enough people in there to be like whatever. All these things that night hit. I remember just being like, this is the greatest fucking city ever. And me and my boys had already been coming up to Toronto every
That's
weekend
crazy, man.
before and doing it. But like that year is when I was like, this is the best shit. Even at the parade, dog, we was in the parade. And we were talking about we behind the gigs, we in the float. And I had pictures on MySpace of like 5, 6 guys them jumping, like going crazy, whining. Like it was like, we had never even experienced like not aggressive females, but females where I'm from wouldn't even really approach us like that. So we fell in love with Toronto immediately. Like, you know what I'm
That's
saying? Like, yo,
serious.
we didn't even know. Like, of course, we American black dudes with the accent, and they come right up to us, and like we would be so raw. Like, look, honey, I'm out here working hard. You know what I mean? Buff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my small apartment. I got my car. They wouldn't even care. Like, yo, you got a job? Bet. Boom. Like, let's talk. Like, so we respected that shit a lot. Where even where we were from, these motherfuckers was turning their nose on us. I'm like, who the fuck? I'm going to Toronto and getting these beautiful, diverse females and being with these people. And your ass is fucking dugging me in Buffalo, New York. Fuck out of here. Cross that bridge. I'm out of there in an hour and a half.
Mm.
So I'm hitting the highway 2009, and I'm literally going there every
It's
weekend.
crazy that you say it like that because me and my girlfriend went to Toronto. This
Mm-hmm.
was like 2019, and we tried to find a place to club hop or whatever. I couldn't figure this shit out for the life of me. We tried to bar hop and everything's so fucking far apart, and like you need a
It
car
is.
to do this right, and
It
it
is.
was the weirdest shit ever. And so you're like,
It
man,
is.
it was like the latest night of great parties, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened. I gotta figure that shit
Yo,
out because man, I had like the well, we have to really research this properly next time experience.
yo. Well, like, I had a friend named, my best friend, right now to this day, named Steve. Call him Steve Love. And Steve, he been there. He been doing Toronto again, probably since like '99. I met him in Toronto. He's from Buffalo. He's literally family with my family. He's my cousin basically. And I met him at Hoop It Up, and we kind of like we the Buffalo crew, right? He ended up being my best friend, and he's been up. He was like a Toronto connoisseur, so he knew where to go, like Lobby
Mm.
Nightclub, the Empire, and like Empire had the free parking, so we can save money if we go to Empire, and like what I'm saying. He knew how to kind of maneuver through, and for whatever reason, too, we were from Buffalo. We were well dressed black men, and we came with class, and we knew how to talk. So most of the time, there'd be like a fucking line out there. We asked for the manager, whatever, I'm saying, hey, we from out of town, show us a little love, boo, boo, boo. Next thing you know, we walking in that bitch. We got a couple free drinks. We having a good time, and that happened like almost every weekend. We just ended up, knowing some promoters too at the time. Promoters at the time were big, so you get those promoters that would get us in these party spots, and man, we were just having a great time in Toronto. But then also just linking up. I remember just being right next to Carnella Fishout, literally at a redemption party. He was just there, like getting the drink. I'm like, yo. I looked at him. I had to give him his flowers, right? I'm like, yo, I'm from Buffalo, bro. I'm gonna tell you what happened. You drop your shit. This is ill. He was cool as fuck, humble as shit, man. Yo, I can't believe it. Thank you, yo, Buffalo crazy, y'all. Wildin'. Like it was just a whole little 2-minute convo, and to keep it G with no pictures and be like, man, hopefully I'll see you soon, and then walk away. It was cool, you know what I mean? And to be able to interact with those people like that in Toronto like that, it was crazy because Buffalo was tense. Buffalo was so tense you couldn't go out like that, and it was also racist. Like it was very racist. So to feel that diversity, feel that classness, and I'm like the classiness of everything, and in the streets, and being able to at the time, like shit, smoke on the street, cop walk by, you don't give a fuck, like you know what I mean. We out there like cops see us smoking, they throwing us in the car, we might get shot, like So I'm falling in love with the city and falling in love with the people, but able to maneuver the right way. Like I said, it is spread apart. You're right. There's like Richmond Ave and like a couple of areas that are okay, but like there's nothing where you can like. There's not a strip where it's like there's 10 bars in this one area.
Yeah,
It ain't like that in
just so that
Toronto.
everyone knows, I'm coming from Montreal, where I came to see We're
Oh
Spoiled.
yeah, exactly.
Spoiled.
We could talk about that too. Fucking everything right there, like just right there. It's little
Yeah,
lights over the fucking,
yeah.
So we'll get to that. But
That's fucking
yeah, I mean,
hilarious.
that was Toronto, man. That was loving it. Of course, I was back and forth from Toronto, Buffalo, Rochester. It was like I called it the triangle, more like the L. I said, not the triangle. Yeah, it was like the L. Rochester, Buffalo, triangle. Now, then I left Rochester um, around 2009 after I played like one more year in the UFL. I played real quick, and then I said that's enough. Left Rochester as I was still going to Toronto. Now I'm in Buffalo, so I'm happy to be back in Buffalo because I'm actually so happy that I'm closer to Toronto. So instead of being a 3 hour joint, now it's like an hour and a half joint. So at the time, I was going back and forth to Burlington. I was dating a person at the time, a female in Burlington, and like she was from Collingwood and from Toronto. So I was getting like a lot of vibes and then learning some shit too, right? But I was also still my boys like downtown. Like it was crazy. Like we were still, hanging out, not like we used to, but we would still do different vibes and catch different things. Like I remember going to the Hot Box Cafe for the first time. You know what
I've
I'm
been
saying?
there. I was there when you
Yeah.
could just
Yeah, that's what I'm
burn in the
saying. We would
back,
just
and you
burn
could
the back.
you could rent the vape
Yeah.
for like fucking $5 or
five
whatever,
bucks.
and then
You
like
can
you
rent a
just
bomb for $5 too. You just had to
bro,
just bring your own shit.
bro, that was.
Yeah.
Oof.
It was a vibe back there.